Welcome, and welcome back to the Stroke Thrivors podcast. Every week on the Stroke Thriver podcast, there's a story, a truth, or a breakthrough that meant for you. And I'd hate for you to miss the one that finally clicks. Subscribe and stay in the room. But if you've been with us for a while, you may remember us as the Stroke Folk Show. And we were rebranded in early 2026 to match what we mean, what we become, and who you are. Same mission, same heart, a name that finally says what we mean. So you're a thriver, and before anything else, the old Stroke Folk, the old Stroke Folk Show didn't disappear. Its spirit and shows moved over to the YouTube channel I have at Stroke Thrivors, and subscribe there too if you aren't. All right. People ask me all the time why I do this. Besides the lots of reasons, we're in a time when it's incredible that we can do these things for free or low cost. And way back when I got started, when they used to have, remember modems? Maybe you've never even heard of them, but that's how computers communicated. And now look at this: we can see real time, or you can get it on the replay. But it's crazy. We can do this now. So, anyways, really, the answer is shorter than you think. This podcast gets me better, makes me better. Showing up every week, keeping me sharp. I practice over and over, and it's good that I practice. I'm deeply curious by nature. And when something catches me, catches my attention, I want you to have it too. So, and this is the one place where I get to say what's sitting on my heart or my mind or both. That's lots of the reasons, the whole reasons. 3 things maybe, but 4 things maybe, but maybe there's more, and I forgot to tell you. So the other thing, now that you're looking more between episodes, I wrote 2 books so far, and more are coming, with you in mind, really. The first I came out with was, just a moment. Yes. The Stroke Survivors First Aid Kit. And it came out in November of 2024. And it's helpful. I shared with you my journey, and it can be helpful for you. And the first word search book I've been put out, the Word Search for Stroke Recovery book, Volume 1, and it's the easiest of them so far. Then I'll do it a little bit harder for Volume 2, which will be out in the next 3 months. And then Volume 3 will be harder, because way back when I was was early in my recovery, I needed that to match words amongst the letters. And so check it out. If you want them, if you want to carry your recovery for you, check out my stroke inspired. At tinyurl.com/stroke-books. It's a check it out if you want it. You can order them. So, but the other thing I want you to find out is way back when I wrote the book, the first book, Stroke Survivors First Aid Kit, I thought of myself as a stroke survivor. And over time, I realized there's more. There's more than just survivors. I want to thrive. And so if you want to check out my stroke-inspired designs, stroke thriver designs, there's 12 or 13 and going strong. There'll be more. But at tinyurl.com/stroke-designs. Really, it's fun. And if you decide to get them, it's great because when you wear it, it provides others an opportunity. The first is they can see it, go, stroke thrivers, tell me about that. And you can tell them about your recovery. And number two, it is an opportunity to tell them about stroke prevention. So check it out. And one more thing I want you to sit with before we dive in this episode. It's from a past episode. Lasting change only shows up when your words, your body and brain, and your actions move together. They all synchronize them. So not once, not twice, but repeatedly, over and over. And that repetition, that's rewiring. That's what you focus on, and that's what everyone wants to do when we change. So that's where it happens. All right, today's topic is a good one. The Detroit neighbor who refused to quit. There's a guy in my backyard, really, literally, figuratively, of course, who's been showing up every single day since the stroke he had. And I think you need to hear his story. His name is Dan Gilbert. You maybe have heard of him. You probably know his name. Maybe you maybe heard of he's been the founder and owner of Rocket Companies, which makes mortgage or refinances, and he's also the majority owner of the Cleveland Cavaliers and NBA team, and he's also the man who's poured his fortune in rebuilding downtown Detroit, block by block. He's literally did that. And he's a stroke thriver, just like us. So it takes back to Memorial Day weekend. It was in 2019. He was on top of his game. He just introduced his Cavaliers' new head coach, and he was set up to go to Mackinac Island for the Mackinac Policy Conference. They have it each year, Memorial Day weekend. And one of his companies was 1 month away from hosting Detroit's first PGA Tour event. Then his body stopped him cold. A friend recognized the signs, which you will learn if you don't know them. Please do that. Facial asymmetry, or there was a difference in his face. His arm drift, couldn't lift it up, and speech difficulty. and got him to one of the local hospitals. The doctors implanted 7 stents, little places where his blood could flow better. He did it in his carotid artery to restore blood flow. But 7 stents, wow. He spent 8 weeks at Shirley Ryan, excuse me, Shirley Ryan's Ability Lab in Chicago. It's one of the country's top-rated neurological rehab centers. He came back to Detroit thinner, quieter, and in a wheelchair because he had lost his voice with the stroke. So he was also in a wheelchair, couldn't walk yet. He had a black lab service dog named Cowboy, which is huge, by his side. So here's what hit me hard. This is the man who owns an NBA championship team, a man who helped resurrect the Detroit, and the stroke knocked him flat, same as it did for all of us that had the stroke or were affected by the people around him. And but he kept going. So it was within months, he was back in his office 1 or 2 days a week, re-engaging with his CEOs and major construction projects. No fanfare, just showing up. 5 years after his stroke, he stood up at a public breakfast in downtown Detroit and told the crowd, "The only thing I can say is just enjoy every day, every minute, and stay healthy." Huge. So that was his whole speech, but it was really his whole message, because way back when I realized I was fit, but I wasn't healthy, and that was huge. And of course, had 2 strokes, and I've learned a lot, and I'm still going. So he, just like he has no magic formula, I have no magic formula. Not a miracle, no miracle moment, just a man who decided that showing up day after day and what he had left was enough. So please, you can feel the same way, and know that you can do it one day at a time. So, so Southeast Michigan is our shared background, Dana. If you hear my podcast, please. Watching you thrive from a few miles away is a reminder that recovery doesn't care how famous you are, how wealthy you are, he's a billionaire, or how much you had going on the day it hit. It asks the same thing for all of us. Keep going. So if this story fired you up, subscribe to the Stroke Thriver podcast, because every week we bring you more stories and real talk that reminds you what you are made of. So, in gratitude and grit, remember, you're a thriver. That's V as in victory, O-R. See you next week.